Welcome back. This is the Clutch Awakening Podcast with your host, JC. If this is your first time listening, I appreciate you coming out and tuning in. The purpose of this podcast is to challenge your cognitive dissonance. That is a belief system that you have held on for so long, which you perceive to be the truth. However, when someone comes to challenge that belief system, you will reject that information because you believe that is your truth. When that truth could be a facade, could be pseudo, you will still hold on to it because that's what you believe. That's what you know. However, I want to challenge that. And the purpose of this is not to change your mind, it's to inform, to educate. But the topic at hand is how rap music has been used as a weapon against the so-called black community and how it has been a detriment. Now, rappers oftentimes they live a lifestyle where they don't live their raps. So you are being fed, you are listening to a person who is living a persona, a facade. They're putting on, and oftentimes you will latch onto their persona and live that in your regular life. So in actuality, you are living a facade as well. But it's this term called a psyop, and I don't know if I mentioned it before, but a psyop is any form of communication in support of objectives designed to influence the opinions, emotions, attitudes, behavior, or of any group in order to benefit the sponsor either directly or indirectly. And it's the same way when I spoke about propaganda with Eddie Bernays, how he used propaganda to pretty much get society to think a certain type of way, either directly or indirectly. That's what a psyop is. That's what rap music is. I can get you to conform to this type of lifestyle, even when this is not really your culture. So everything that we call our culture in the so-called black community is not our culture. Black people are really the only people in society, really in this Western culture, United States of America, where they have no idea of who they are. Like they have no identity. So when they see something that they can latch on to easily, they will latch on to it. And that's part of the reason why rap music was so influential. When NWA came out with After Police, everybody wanted to be a gangster. Everybody wanted to do this, do that. But at the same time, those people who was a part of NWA really was not about that life. Maybe Eazy-E was. Dr. Dre, he was in a group called World Class Wrecking Crew, where he was wearing the most flamboyant apparel. Now, that's his business, but me saying that, how are you a gangster and you about this, that, and the third, but your background, bro, it's not what you represent. And even on top of that, Dr. Dre, he cannot write. Ice Cube was writing majority of those lines for that group, him and MC Ren. They was doing the same thing for EC, but that's neither here nor there. It's really talk about how rap music was used as a weapon. Now, back in the 1980s, it was a thing known as the Iran-Contra scandal, where how the CIA pushed drugs and guns into the black community and really destroyed the black community during that time. But rap music was also pushed around that same time, and how it has done far and worse damage than the Iran-Contra scandal. And I just want to say also, too, that, look, I also wanted to be a rapper at one point in my life. I grew up listening to rap music. So everything that I'm saying is, I ain't just bashing it. I was also under that same guise. I want to do the same thing. But you have to understand that this music, everything that we listen to, what we perceive as, oh man, this is us, this is not. And I want to play this clip real quick from this movie where this guy put it in, he pretty much just put it in the right context. Now, a lot of times movies, we see them as entertainment. However, they put a lot of truth in movies where people will overlook and say, man, that's a great writer. That's a great this. It reminds me of The Simpsons, The people always people bring up The Simpsons. Like, man, The Simpsons predicted this. They predicted that. You got to understand, you don't get to certain levels and certain places without doing certain things. And oftentimes, when you get to those certain levels, you start to know certain things. But however, I want to play this clip real quick where this guy speaking about music.
I don't always worry what the message is. I just pass it along. I slip it between the notes, hide it away from people that know it's there.
You're saying you've done this before? Codes?
I wrote the music your dad grew up to. Half of what you sang along to as a kid, and I'm still doing it. And these teenagers are dancing to my music. I want it that way. Tell me why.
You're telling me there's hidden messages in old pop songs?
Movies, television shows, everything you know.
Now, the name of that movie is Under the Silver Lake. Came out in 2018, so it's still relatively new. But he was talking about pop music in that clip. However, it's really can be used for all music genres. But he said that, hey, I write your music. And when you look at a lot of these labels, the entertainment industry in general, movie head of production companies and all that, it's a specific people running those entities. You know, not necessarily a race, but a religion. However, I want to talk about also too, like the repetitive nature of rap music. And you know, it can get very repetitive, especially with the beat. You know, the drum patterns, hi-hat patterns, all those type of things. And today you got a lot of individuals with the help of FL Studio, Fruity Loops. I myself was doing the same thing. You can pretty much be a producer in your bedroom. So you got these same drum patterns that's hitting, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? It's this term called MK Ultra. MK Ultra was pretty much a mind control operation that was funded by the CIA, I believe in the 70s, but they were using experiments that were mind controlled through LSD and other drugs that cause hallucinations. So they played repetitive messages for the subject on a continuous loop. And after that loop was played, the subjects were pretty much programmed. And that's the same thing with rap music. That's why a lot of rap music today is not much lyrics. It's really the beat and also the melody. That's why too, if you know you start to wake up and see what's really going on in this world, oftentimes when you listen to older music that you used to listen to, you will pick up on lyrics that you didn't hear before. You start to say to yourself, wait, they saying this or they saying that? But like I said, it's a loop. You know, it's programming. It's to get you to continually think about this, that, and the third. But the last thing that I want to touch on is I spoke earlier about a lot of times rappers, they don't live their raps. So I want to look at three individuals who are pretty much seen as, you know, the best in the rap game. First, I'm gonna take a look at Drake. So Drake, you know, his start was from Degrassi. He was an actor. He was an actor turned rapper. So we are viewing an individual who's living a persona, right? And at the same time, a lot of other individuals who listen to his music live his same persona. I was remember when he dropped that Certified Lover Boy album, I was seeing jokers get that haircut in their head. Or, like I said, know certain people who their mannerisms would be just like Drake. They will talk just like Drake. Drake has about 30 different accents. And I can say this because I used to be a big Drake fan myself. So a lot of times when I was in high school, I used to base my personality around Drake. But I'm basing my personality off an individual who's also living a lie. So in actuality, I was living a lie. And a lot of other people are living a lie. But that's just part of, you know, how they are using these individuals, entertainers who are strictly entertainers, because Drake's also an entertainer who has people write for him. I remember even when I was younger, just listening Take Care albums, Thank Me Later, and I was going on Wikipedia and looking at like, okay, the writers and all this, and I used to always see like somebody on Drake thing, and this way before the Meek Mill stuff, when Meek Mill accused him of Quentin Miller. I used to always see an individual named A. Palmer. I was thinking to myself, who is A. Palmer? Who is A. Palmer? He was on all Drake records. But that's neither here nor there. Drake is an entertainer. Now, Drake necessarily, he's not really about that life. He may have some songs, talking about, killing and all that. But his main goal is misogyny, misogyny or being a simp. That's Drake role. But Drake is an entertainer. That's why his run has been so long. He has been entertaining the masses. Another entertainer who has just stepped on the scene that's entertaining the masses is Cardi B. Cardi B came from reality television. In other words, a pseudo environment for black people to stay into gossip and keep their mind state at a certain level. She's the same way. She's an entertainer. She entertains. That's why she is at the topic of pretty much all the discussion nowadays. She has, like I said, she has writers too. That's going to make sure that she keeps entertaining the masses. Another individual who was an entertainer turned rapper, Tupac. Everybody seems to adore Tupac, worship Tupac, idolize Tupac. Tupac is an entertainer. Now, let me say this. He also was a poet. So a lot of his raps he did write. But Tupac went to not art school. That school that individuals go to focus on a specific, talent. It's like the School of the Arts, something like that. But that was Tupac when he was younger. If you look at some of his older interviews, you will see ain't nothing thug about this Joker. However, he has embodied that thug life, and people revere him as a thug. And I say all that to say that all these people that we see, they've been pushed on you. Now, I know too, I'm going to touch on this in the next episode. We also got other rappers who don't talk about, killing, the sexualization of women, selling drugs and all that. Oh, guess what? I'm going to touch on that too. So thank you again if you made it this far. Definitely tune into the next episode because we're going to talk about those guys who are considered conscious rappers and their role in the industry. And I know that rap music has been a predominant factor in a lot of so-called black people lives. So I know you may be asking yourself, okay, then what should I listen to? What can I listen to? These are some artists that they also rap, but their message is good for your spirit, good for your soul. Artists like Esham Burgundy, William Cater, Laurel, or Britt Yah. These are just a sample of artists, you know what I'm saying, that if you like rap music, you will enjoy these artists, and they also good for your spirit. So yeah, take care.